Sorry, done.
Done. You got to mute when you do that, mate.
Oh.
You're not talking to mute. Oh.
Yeah.
This is the Bigfooty Blues Podcast.
Welcome to episode 24 of the 2014 Bigfooty Blues Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We will endeavour to do you proud for the first half of the podcast, frustrate you so much you just have to laugh at how bad we are in the third quarter, and then recover again to hold our own on the run home. I'm ODN, and keeping me company tonight, there were more spuds flying out of his mouth during Saturday's aftermath than a McDonald's diner during a coughing fit. Give a big shout out to Shandog.
Thank you very much. I feel better, everyone.
She posted so many expletives about the umpiring on Saturday night that we received complaints from the Tourette Syndrome Association. Thanks a lot, Bluebell.
I was only speaking the truth.
Meanwhile, she's more composed than Bluebell, more supportive than Shandog, and more love than yours truly. But then again, none of us ever got a slinky stuck in our hair. Oh, well, you can't have everything, can you, Mebby?
Oh, my God. I only wrote that today.
Oh, we're on the pulse. He's been lobbying all day to have our match this Friday moved to Thursday so he can find his seat early and eat dumplings with thylacine. Haven't any luck for HBF?
Evening, everyone. I don't know what I was thinking today. I've gone absolutely mental.
He recently took a trip to a tattooist and subjected himself to thousands of little pricks. Would have been cheaper to wait until the Essendon game in round 23, but each to their own. Hey, happy dude?
Oh.
I had to watch that game on TV, so there were many pricks this week.
Okay, time for a little bit of Blues news. Carlton defender Andrew Walker has been ruled out for the rest of the season. Walker has been struggling with a knee injury, which has made it difficult for him to back up each week. Carlton's football operations manager, Andrew McKay, says Walker will undergo an arthroscope to address the issue. Mick Malthouse has been under siege in the media for an outburst directed towards Cameron Ling over Channel 7 showing Mick's face on the screen after every Sydney goal when he was trying to watch the replays to see what went wrong. Chris Judd has been wheeled out to a press conference today to say absolutely nothing. He hasn't decided whether he'll retire or not. And midfielder Tom Bell has today re-signed for 2 years, tying him up till the end of the 2016 season. So just a few little snippets there, folks. Any comments on any of that?
I love that Chris Judd basically just came out and trolled the media. He took a little bit of the focus off Nick Maxwell's retirement announcement today, but for absolutely no reason, because he came out and said, I'll decide later. So good on you, Chris Judd.
Yeah.
Well done, Carlton. The Collingwood captain retires and everyone's talking about Judd saying nothing. Brilliant.
I love it.
It's up there with Andrew Walker's hat.
I don't think anywhere's up there with Andrew Walker's hat.
I don't know. Matthew Richardson did eat a piece of chicken, and that got in the news the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we sent Andrew Walker to get this knee issue addressed, so he'll be nice and good and ready to go for pre-season. He's obviously been struggling all year. And it's good to start addressing this sort of stuff now. I don't think we're going to win the flag this year, guys. So
What?
Come on, happy dude.
The's always hope.
No faith.
Call me a bit of a skeptic, but I think it might be beyond our reach.
Impossible is nothing.
I didn't say impossible.
Damn sick of your negativity, mate. All right. Moving on to Weekend Wake.
This is the Weekend Wake.
Okay, on Saturday night at the SCG, Carlton 7-9-51 went down to Sydney 18-14-122. Goals for Carlton. This would be quick. Henderson 2, McLean, White, Bell, Johnson, and Everett singles. Best for Carlton, Gibbs, Murphy, Simpson, Henderson, Curnow. Goals for Sydney, too many to mention. Sydney kicked 10 goals for, 64 to 1 behind in the third quarter. That pretty much sums up the game. Who wants to have a stab at this one?
I only just noticed that you said, as you said that actually, that third quarter score was bigger than our entire game.
Yep.
So if we had kept them goalless for the other 3 quarters, we still would have lost. That's unreal.
Oh, real? Oh, no.
Yeah, no, that was pretty terrible. I'd work really early the next morning, and I'd stayed up late to watch it. And I think we got to 30-something points down in the third quarter, and I turned to Mrs. Happy Dude, I go, nah, that's it. I'm going to bed. We've lost this game. Woke up in the morning for work like 3 hours later, looked at my phone and saw the final score. I was like, I regret nothing.
Yeah.
What a good decision that was to go to bed at that point in time. I missed the next 6 goals that Sydney kicked in a row in the third quarter.
Well, I actually owe the Wookiee a sincere apology, and I'm making it publicly, because I have always been very much a Warnock defender, and he has become indefensible for me. The fact that he only had 2 disposals for the entire game has meant that, Wookiee, I will publicly admit that a lamppost would have done a better job on Saturday, and I'm sorry for all the times that I got indignant towards you for saying that Warnock was useless, because he pretty much was.
It's great to have you on board,
So-
Mibby.
Wow.
I just wanted to put it out there and say that I can eat humble pie when I need to, and that's what I'm doing right now, and it doesn't taste very good, but I'll do it.
Yeah, with the Warnock thing, didn't someone post up either today or yesterday that Carlisle took more marks on Sunday than Warnock has all year?
Correct. Carlisle took 19 marks,
Yep.
and Warnock's had about 5.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
And how many-
pretty. He's 206 centimeters tall. That's terrible.
That is correct.
And I note that one of his 2 possessions was turned over. So
The other one was good. He
Fantastic.
got down, picked it up, handballed off to someone who then turned it over. But that was impressive
I
by him.
saw that.
It
I
was
saw
good.
that possession.
But on a positive note, Blaine Johnson kicked his first goal, and it was a mark taken right on the siren. I really liked that Tom Bell went over and ruffled his hair and gave him a bit of a pump up before he kicked it. And then as soon as he kicked it, everyone got around him. So that was nice to see.
Yep.
Because quite often when people kick their first goal or any goal for us, really everyone just ignores them. So it was nice to see them do the team thing. And congratulations to him for kicking his first goal. But couldn't think of very many positives, but that was one I found.
It was very exciting because it was kind of getting us back in the game too, right at half time. We were like, geez, we've actually done well.
I actually stayed up through half time because I thought, after that, we might rally a bit in the third quarter. And I've never been so wrong about anything in my life.
Yeah, it was inspiring, wasn't it? And the team really looked like they had their tails up. I mean, their halftime break was the worst thing that could happen to us. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's you almost get a little bit of a tear in the eye when a young fella does that, and the team are so pumped. I just don't know what happened, what was in their sandwiches at halftime, but they switched off completely. It's ridiculous.
Yep. So did anyone actually have a really good game for us, or was it all pretty just blasé?
Well, in the coaches' votes, we had one player get a vote. So that's out of 20. What did they give?
Is it out of?
That's out of yeah. So what do they
Is
give?
it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
5, 4, 3
Yeah.
to 1. So that's out of 30 votes. Out of 30 votes, we got 1.
Awesome.
So, and I don't know if you guys remember voting on the game afterwards. And I put Andrew Walker in. I was taken to task. I think Jandai might have been one that disagreed with me there.
I did a little, yeah.
Yeah. So, but he was playing injured. So yeah. See, that's what I think too. And I think I put Doherty in. He had 13
Oh, yeah.
13 disposals.
I put him in too. Yeah, he
So
was
did
my
I.
best
You know,
blue.
so we're really, really struggling for names.
Yeah, after the first 3, it was impossible.
I must say, I sort of put my head down and just started watching Shandog go mental in the game thread about halfway through the third quarter. When he grabbed a beer out of the fridge and then started watching the Tour de France. So I'd pretty much lost interest halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, my review on this game is fairly limited.
I really should publicly apologise to everyone for that too. Excuse me.
Are you choking on your apology, Shan?
I am. I'm choking it
You're
down.
choking on the word.
I was quitting cigarettes. It was a struggle. Worst weekend ever. I think someone else put a link in there to the airplane movie with the guys. Like, I picked the wrong day to quit heroin.
I quit the wrong day to quit sniffing glue.
Yeah, it was very much that situation. So I apologise for anyone I may have caused eye rolling or annoyedness to. My fault.
That's okay, Shan. I accept your apology.
Okay, great.
That's all that matters. Look, a couple of things. Jamison was moved off Franklin in the third quarter, and Franklin kicked five of the 6 goals in that third quarter, so it's half of Sydney's 10 goals for the quarter. That perplexed me. He was doing so well up to half time. He had no goals up to half time. And Jamo was doing a great job. So does anybody understand why that happened?
Well, I said that in the game day thread, and I got thinly veiled abuse. So I'm not going to comment.
No.
Well, in the first half, weren't Jamison and Rowe rotating on him anyway? They weren't always. They didn't, like, Jamo didn't start play on Franklin all the first half.
Well, they were rotating a fair bit on him, and he was unlucky not to have kicked a goal in the first half. There was a couple of times where he either sprayed it or he overran the ball, or the ball went over his head. And I thought, geez, we're lucky Franklin hasn't hit the scoreboard yet at half time.
But Jamo wasn't put back on him in that third quarter.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, but I don't think it was just Jamo that was keeping him goalless in the first half. They were rotating off him, and it was a bit of luck.
The matchup that really quizzed me was the goods. Walker on Reed. What the hell was that about?
That was a master stroke.
God, crazy.
Yeah, tough ask for Walks there. Chris Yaron having a bit of a joke with Buddy Franklin after he kicked one of his 1,000 goals.
I really like that.
And I think that's after Franklin had a go at young Johnson.
Maybe Yaron was asking Buddy where a good night spot in Sydney is after the game.
Probably either way, it would have been it'd be inappropriate. Yeah.
I wonder if Robbo was playing, if he would have pushed Yaron away, had a go at him for that.
Yeah, true.
Nobody gets the he did that with Eddie Betts a couple of years ago. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie.
I didn't like seeing that at all. And I know people say, it's just a game, it doesn't affect the way he plays, but I think it does, because it shows that he's not taking it seriously. And I don't have a problem with people having a chat after the game, like all the boys went and spoke to Laidler and that sort of thing, and that doesn't bother me at all. But in the middle of a game, when someone's just given it to a guy who's playing his second or third game, like, you don't do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, mate. It's a bad image, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, he said he's been pretty good this year and he's really knuckled down, but just sort of show that you're hurting a little bit like the rest of the team, I reckon. All right, I think we will move on, and we'll do a little spot of list it, love it, or leave it.
List it, love it, or leave it.
Okay, this week we are going to take a look at number 16, Patrick Cripps.
Can I take Cripps first, if that's all right, guys? I actually went up to Ballarat, froze my backside off up there on Sunday, and I thought he was really good. He had a quiet first quarter. But after that, he really came into the game, and he's so good. He either wins. He won a number of contests around the ground, and he's also a good distributor. So he provided that link sort of between half back and half forward. So I dare say he'd be in very strong contention for this week, if not this week. Whenever we play Fremantle. So love him. Not going anywhere, and I would go far as to say to extend his contract as quickly as we possibly can. He is a bona fide 150 game player on our list.
Very nice.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. Yeah, I love him. Keep him.
Yeah. Love him. It's obviously his first season, so we can't really make too much of a judgment there. And if he's already showing signs, that's awesome. Double trouble.
Yeah, if the guys who watch the VFL think he's doing very well, then fantastic.
Yeah, he has all the attributes to come in and replace Juddy. And I note that Juddy did mention Cripps in his some of the few words he did say today. So I think Juddy looks at Cripps as being his natural replacement as well, and maybe that will determine when Judd thinks that he should step down.
Cripps has got captaincy material written all over him, I reckon, as well. Just to add a bit more into that. I actually can't speak highly enough of him. I was standing by the interchange bench in the first quarter before I moved inside, and even when he was coming off, he was geeing all the boys up, and these are guys like Armfield and McInnes who are senior players, and he's geeing them up. Geeing them up. So yeah, I would sign him up, extend his contract for a few more years. He will be a very, very good player.
Alrighty. Next up, here we go. I'm thinking that there's a certain somebody might want to go first here. Sam Rowe.
Rowie!
Hey, love him.
Love him.
Love him.
Love him.
Is he not the best story of the AFL this decade?
Yeah, that's
I love him.
He's gone through so much, and to keep and be able to still perform at such a high level and get better like he has and learn a new position, love him.
Yeah, I'm his number one fan, and I think maybe he's got the number 2 ticket. But but look, even I'm the first person to admit he's done a fantastic job for us this year. Unless his development continues on in a really quite an impressive upward sort of trajectory, he's never going to be the world's greatest defender. He's not going to be the Sauce Mark II. But what he is providing for our team at the moment is really, really important and fantastic, and I hope we hang on to him for a few years. And I hope he actually gets to, I guess, even the next level, becomes an A-grade defender. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. And then I'd definitely love to see him in our team for a long time. But for the moment, anyway, he's doing a fantastic job of being a really tall pillar of our defence, and that's just great. So, love him.
Gee whiz, he can spoil. And what I've liked over the last couple of weeks is it seems like he's figured out when he should mark it and when he should spoil as well. Which is making me really happy, and I love him, and let's keep him.
Yeah.
It's I tell you what, I never saw it coming. I'll put my hand up and say I never saw Sam Rowe being a key defender, and I didn't know where he was going to fit. I had hopes for him, but I didn't think he was going to do what he's done this year. He's totally blown me away. And as you said, he's starting to mark the ball. He's actually starting to pick up disposals now. So he's actually gained some confidence, and he's taking his he's being a playmaker as well as just a negator. So fantastic.
I second that, Odie, and I wasn't sure where he fit either, and he's just proven just how versatile he is by going down back and having a ripper year. He's probably, him and Levi have been our most improved this year, and very impressive, and as you guys said, just a great story.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next up is Tom Tomei.
It was tough.
I saw him again on Sunday as well, and you can see that there's actually something there with Tom. It's just he's just got to find a bit of consistency in his game. He kicks the ball well, and he's a sort of a footballer's footballer. There's nothing sort of flashy about him. Look, I'd certainly hang on to him for at least another 12 months just to see where his development can take him. I actually quite like him as a footballer. So I think probably next year's probably crossroads for him. But at the moment, I would not do anything with him. Just keep him on the list for next year and see where his development can go over the next 12, 15 months.
What I've seen of him in the VFL is kind of, I think I judge him unfairly because he's not an excitement machine like Cripps is, or like Menzel has been, or, you guys know how excited. Oh, hang on. Don't worry about that. I was going to say about Dylan Buckley, but that sounds dirty. No, what I mean is you're right. HBF, I see it the same way you do. He's kind of like meat and potatoes. Like, He does what he needs to do, but he would never be that kind of player who you're like, wow, look at that. That's amazing. He's just kind of steady. I guess. But I'd keep him for another year.
Yeah, look, I think when he was drafted, maybe I think the club knew they had a fair bit to work with in terms of getting him ready for AFL level. And just what I saw from him on Sunday, there are signs that he could become a decent footballer. I know Harker wrote a report and it wasn't overly glowing on him, but I probably saw it a little differently. I actually thought he was okay, just as you say, a meat and potatoes sort of footballer. So I'd like to see him get another pre-season under his belt and then sort of see what he could do next year. I could actually see him sort of taking over from Dylan Buckley when Bucks goes into the midfield. That to me could be that small defender that we sort of need. So yeah, I'd certainly keep him for another year. I don't love him, but I just would keep him. See what another pre-season he can get out of for next year.
Seems to be well down in the pecking order at the moment, and a lot more are performing better than him at VFL level.
Definitely, considering he was dropped to development league 2 weeks
ago. Look, but his saving grace is getting rid of him doesn't refresh the list as we want because he hasn't been in the mix. He's only a young player, and you never know, he might come on. There's plenty of others potential in the side. Sorry to use that expression, and. It's what's it? Yeah, 2 years on the list. It's a third year is probably not going to hurt much, but he may be a candidate if we do want to open up another space and fill up our side from the draft. He may be a candidate to put down to rookie level potentially.
Odion lets loose.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Moving on to Cameron Giles.
Well, he's no Eddie Betts, even though he is wearing number 19.
Waiting for that.
But he has been injured for a good part of this year, so it would be a bit unfair of us to just dump him now.
He's tall. Leave him.
That's it.
Is he?
He's
I don't know.
tall and full of stress fractures, so let's not get too excited. But
no, that's right. It's just I just like to see that we've actually got a couple of tall players on the list, even if they can't play.
Hey,
much like Warnock.
They can't do any worse than Warnock.
Oh, it's going left, right, and centre. Amazing.
Well, he brought it on himself.
I've seen him at VFL level twice this year, I think. And look, I like what I saw with him. He's still very raw and needs some work, but no issues with his development. It's just a shame that he's injured and won't get any more footy for the rest of the year. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with how he's tracking at the moment.
First-year player, shouldn't even be talking about him.
Yeah.
Moving on to another first-year player, Nick Holman.
he's great.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see him out there. I really love watching him play. I've seen him quite a few times in the VFL, and he's just hard. He is tough as nails. And he kind of, I don't know, there's just something, it's like he gets on the ground and he just switches on. And I really like the way he plays. Yeah, I really like it.
I like hard.
Okay. Wow, that's normally something I would say.
I'm all for it. I'd love to see him and Bell and Robinson and stuff like that. Just some big, strong bodies in our midfield. I think that's going to be the way forward. Speed and big, strong bodies. If he can manage to get that, then fantastic. So I'd love to see him stay on the list for a little bit and see what he can do.
He'll get called up this year, just in the later part?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, based on what I've seen, I think he. I don't think there's any reason why he couldn't play a few games this year. In fact, I think he could be a good sub. Come on late with that real aggression and willingness to go in and get the footy. So, yeah, I think he could certainly play this year.
Good stuff.
If you made him sub, what would you do with Nick Graham?
Well, obviously he'd get dropped back to VFL. He's played a couple of games now.
Sorry, silly question. All right. Hey, Nick Holman was emergency last weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah, or the week before.
So he'll be sub this week.
He's very close.
Well, this round, next round.
Very close. All right. I think we'll move on to pre-game pep talk.
Game Pep Talk.
So, 7:50 Friday night, Carlton take on North Melbourne at Etihad. Carlton sit 14th with a 5-11 record. North are finals bound in 6th spot with a 10-5 record. We've been playing North once every year of late, and we have gone win-loss, win-loss, win, which is not a great omen for this week. Both teams average 87 points per game but Carlton are letting in 98 points per game, whereas North only let in 75. So defence is where we're going to have the problem this week, apparently. You guys going, and how do you see it?
Definitely going. I'm excited. I know I say this every week, but I have a good feeling, only because North tends to play really well against sides that they're not supposed to beat this year in particular. I watched them play against Hawthorn, and if that same North Melbourne turns up, then we haven't got a hope because they did really, really well. But if it's like the dodgy North that turns up, then I'm super pumped and we've got a real chance. So I think we'll win, and I'm going to say 7 points.
Yeah, that's the thing with North is you don't know, and Carlton is you don't know which North's going to turn up. You don't know which Carlton's going to turn up. My boss is a North supporter, and he doesn't watch football. He just likes to think he does. And I was telling him that it could be 100-point smashing either way, or it could be a draw. It depends on if the good Carlton turns up, the bad Carlton turns up, the good North or the bad North turns up. Like, it could get real messy, or it could be close. We've been turning up against teams that are above us on the ladder around that 6th to 10th mark on the ladder. We've been beating them. So I'd like to think that we're in with a pretty good chance here.
Imagine if no team turns up.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be fun.
It could be a nil. It could be a
nil or draw. Yeah.
I reckon the two key matchups for us, as ODN mentioned, is like defence and all that. I reckon if we can stop Thomas and Petrie, because they always seem to carve us up, and I really don't like Thomas as well. I reckon that'll go a long way. I reckon we could probably play, if Buckley's back, put him on Thomas for a little while. If he does bad, rotate Yaron onto him. But I think Buckley's our man for the Thomas matchup, and we just have to rotate Rowe and Jamison, but mainly Jamison off Petrie.
I'm happy, dude. Buckley didn't play in the seconds on Sunday.
Didn't he?
No, no chance he'll play on Friday.
I retract my Buckley statement then.
Well, don't ask me for an opinion on Friday night's game, because all day I've thought the game was tomorrow night. So I'll just...
How do you think Thursday night's game's going to go, HBF?
I think it might be pretty quiet, actually, and I'll be there.
Maybe Carlton can start tomorrow night.
That might help us.
Yeah.
Then we might be ready by the time the first quarter actually starts.
No, we'll be ready for our third quarter fade out if we start playing tomorrow night.
Well, I'd like to see. Well, obviously Walker is out of the team. Honestly, I would love to see Warnock dropped. Send him back, get Wood elevated, and get him.
You'd like to elevate Wood and get him in.
I love hardness, love it.
I've been waiting for that all year.
Oh God.
Look, I don't see the point in playing McLean anymore for the rest of the year. I'm sorry. I'm starting to make the hard calls now. Normally I'm on the back plays in all the way, but I don't see the point in playing McLean anymore. Davey Ellard, I love the guy. I love what he brings, but again, he's not one that I'd see in the future of the team. So I would say out Walker, McLean, Warnock, Ellard, and I would look at bringing in guys like Wood, McInnes, bring him in, start playing, give him a few games as a sort of a taste for next year. He could perhaps line up on Black, and bring in Cripps. And if Buckley can play, maybe he was rested from this VFL match to be able to come in and play instead of being off a 5-day break or whatever it is. But if not...
I'll just butt in. I actually overheard a Carlton or Northern Blues official on Sunday saying that he just needed another week.
Okay.
So I don't think he'll come in, mate.
Okay, yeah, but maybe Holman. Maybe bring Holman in like we were talking about. So, I wouldn't be upset to see about 4 changes in there. One of them forced with McLean, but maybe 3 of them to say, hey, look, we're gone. It's the end of the year. We don't want these guys anymore.
What about Mitch Robinson? Isn't he back from suspension?
Yeah, straight back in.
Yeah, no, I said he annoyed me, so he stays on the sides again.
Why?
Well, he got himself suspended again. You can sit on the sideline.
the Collingwood player. That's probably the best thing you can do besides
Yeah.
Dude,
Actually, fair point.
gladly taken that suspension.
I'd correct myself. He punched a Collingwood supporter. It's the second best thing you can do. Punching an Essendon player would be the best.
Yeah, no, fair point. So maybe Robbo comes back in as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Graham to get a full game for would be nice, and Holman as sub, as we traditionally start everybody.
Yeah, why not?
For the sub for the first game. And I agree. It'd be nice to see. I guess because he's been putting in the VFL all year, it'll be interesting to see if Wood can offer a little bit more. We'll no doubt lose the hit-outs, but if he can offer a little bit more around the ground than Warnock, then I don't see us doing any worse.
Exactly.
Do you know what I find funny is that when we did the podcast after the draft and stuff, when we were talking about Cameron Wood, we were like, really? Why? Bleh. Why did we get Cameron Wood? Bleh. What a dud. I can't believe we got him. Blah, 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 blah. And now we're like, please bring Wood in the team. Please, for the love of God, elevate Wood.
Well, it's the Wood resurrection. Sorry, was that reserve erection? Reserve resurrection. No, hang on.
Oh my God, I'm shuddering over here.
Quick, what are you behind, Radian?
Yep.
Yes. No, it was more the fact that I guess Wood was only there as for insurance, and we need it because Cruz has been out all year, and he probably won't play again the rest of the year.
He shouldn't play, I don't reckon.
And Warnock has turned to crap,
Yep.
quite frankly.
It's time to call Yui, pay our excess, and cash in that insurance.
They're too expensive.
And I reckon, sadly, because our season is gone. I hate to say it, guys, but our season is gone. I reckon if we just drop Warnock now, I know he's not going to do much, but his trade value just goes totally out the window if we drop him now and bring in Wood. We need to hope he strings a couple of good games together towards the end of the season so we can get something for him.
Takes a
Happy dude, I'd argue that playing him is reducing his trade value.
I reckon playing him in the seconds will just do much worse.
If you can get 70 hit-outs in the seconds, you might still look like you've got something.
Let's make out like he's injured.
I don't think he could get 70 hit-outs in the seconds the way he's going.
Anyway. All right, are we all done with the North match?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
I hate Thomas. Just wanted to make sure everyone knew.
Yeah. Hey, do you reckon Mitch could take another 2 weeks on the sideline?
Actually, yeah, great point. Bring him in.
Yeah, bring him in. He can take Thomas.
I was like, you hate Daisy? Why?
Well, we don't want to go into that.
No, we don't want to go into that.
Oh,
no.
God, please don't start.
That's been dissected enough all over Bigfooty.
We'll get hate mail.
All right. I think that's going to see us out, folks, unless anybody else has got something compelling to say. Nope, didn't think so.
Carlton by 1.
Carlton by 1. I think Carlton will win too, just quietly.
Oh, yay!
Yep, I'm with you.
I reckon we'll win this by about 3 goals, honestly.
Yep, done. And we're done too, folks, and we'll see you next week, hopefully singing the blues song loudly and proudly. Catch you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And when I woke up, I thought that she'd be gone. But she tied me to the bedpost, put my stuff out on the lawn. She said she knew of a love that never dies. She discovered how